So back in the 1980s, thanks to one Strat-wielding Viking dude, rock guitarists started to use arpeggios prominently in their playing again. However, for the most part, they were playing arpeggios that matched exactly the chord that they were playing over. And not only that, but most shredders were playing arpeggio shapes that they could sweep pick easily so that they could play them as fast as possible. So you had a lot of guitarists that were not only using a small amount of arpeggios, but for the most part, the same arpeggio shapes and the same picking technique. And arpeggios, frankly, started to sound a little bit generic. But for you adventuresome players that don't want to sound like every player that sweep picked a 5-string minor 7th arpeggio since 1982, you should explore the concept of superimposing arpeggios to create guitar licks. Superimposing in this case is the idea of playing a different arpeggio than the chord you're playing over to introduce some new colors into your sound. For instance, one of the most amazing ways I've heard a rock player use arpeggios is by the amazing Guthrie Govan, who has this dazzling technique of playing 4-note 7th arpeggios on one string. In his song Fives, over an A minor chord, Guthrie plays the following sequence of arpeggios. A minor 7. B minor 7, C major 7, E minor 7. So if I do a quick analysis of those arpeggios, they're all from the key of G. So there's our master concept for playing better sounding arpeggio licks. Do an analysis of the key that you're playing in, and mix and match different arpeggios that are available to you in that key. So in the case of this Guthrie lick, he superimposed 4 different arpeggios over a static chord, and that record was released over 15 years ago, and to this day, I don't know that I've heard a more dazzling use of arpeggios. Not long ago, I also saw something in a YouTube video by the killer blues rock player Doug Rappoport that I really liked. Over an E7 Mixolydian kind of classic rock thing, he flows through the following arpeggios. G sharp half diminished with an 11th, A major 7, F sharp minor 7, and a little bit of E, to D major 7. Back to A major 7, E7, and then back to D major 7. You know, the way Doug strings those arpeggios together, it sounds so fluid and natural. And that's really going to be sort of the inspiration for the licks that we're going to play today. We're also going to be playing these licks today over a classic rock kind of groove. It's from the Elevated Jam Tracks digital discography number 3, which is a mouthful. But they do amazing backing tracks. Check them out if you're looking for something to jam over. And I'm not going to spend much time on theory other than to say that E Mixolydian, it's the 5th mode in the key of A. So we're going to look at the A major scale, harmonize that scale into 7th chords, 7th arpeggios, and that's where we're going to draw our material from today. So if we go ahead and harmonize that A major scale into 7th chords, we've got A major 7, B minor 7, C sharp minor 7, D major 7, E7, there's our 5 chord. We've got F sharp minor 7, and then G sharp minor 7 flat 5, or half diminished. So what we're going to do is we're going to play licks combining one or more of those arpeggios with an E7 arpeggio, or an E7 sounding lick. And we're going to go right down the list. So for lick number 1, we're going to combine A major 7 and E7. Check it out over our backing track. So lick number 1, we're combining A major 7, and an E7. So A major 7, we've got A, C sharp, E, and G sharp. And then E7, we've got E, G sharp, B, and D. So the A major 7, when we superimpose that over E7, it brings in two different notes. We've got a C sharp, which is the major 6th of E, and that's really sort of a sweet sounding interval. And then we've got A, which is the 4th, and that gives us sort of that sus4 sound. So over E, if I play C sharp and A, and then down to E7, we really get what I would refer to as a sweet sounding, suspended sort of lick. And that's the flavor of this lick when you combine these two arpeggios. So to play the lick, I am using a motion that's similar to sweep picking, but there's also a lot of hammer-ons and pull-offs, so it's not strictly sweep picking, and I think that gives you sort of a more fluid, liquidy type of a sound. So we start off the lick playing straight through an E7 arpeggio, starting with the D, at the 12th fret of the D string. And then I'm playing a 6-string A major 7 arpeggio shape. This is second inversion. And then we ended up, so the E is the last note of the A major, and we're going to slide down to the D note, which is that flat 7 of E7, which brings things home and resolves the lick. So here it is slowly. Let's check out lick number 2. So lick number 2, we're combining B minor 7 with our E7 or Mixolydian sound. So we're using the B minor 7, which we've got the notes B, D, F sharp, and A. Then we've got E7, which again is our E, G sharp, B, and D. So once again, we've got the 4th interval, which gives us that sus4 sound. But we've also got F sharp, which is the 9th, which gives us kind of an easy resolution back to our E. And B minor 7 to E7 is the classic 2-5 chord progression in the key of A. So it sounds like a resolution anyway. So to play this lick, we're using 2 different arpeggio shapes. I'm using a little shape starting at the F sharp at the 16th fret of the D string, and it's actually second inversion B minor 7. Then we're going to switch to a sort of classic shape. I'm starting on the A note at the 14th fret of the G string. And I play from A to A. That A is at the 17th fret of the E string, then slide up to B. We're going to finish off the lick by playing through one of my favorite Mixolydian sounding ideas, which is Mixolydian pentatonic. Basically, it's an E7 arpeggio with the A note added, and it sounds like this. So the whole lick, played slowly. Let's move on to lick number 3. So lick number 3, we're combining D major 7 and E7. And those two chords have a unique relationship. If we take a step back to the triads, E major and D major, the 6 notes of those two triads combine to form 6 of the 7 notes of the Mixolydian mode. And we call that a hexatonic scale, or we can refer to it as a triad pair. And that's one way of playing modally without playing scales. And it sounds like this. I'll have to do a video on that later. So we go to the 7th chords, and they sound really great together, and it's kind of interesting. And the relationship is that each note of the respective arpeggios follow each other in the scale. So we've got, for the D major 7, we've got D, F sharp, A, and C sharp. And then of course with our E7, we've got E, G sharp, B, and D. And so the lick itself, we start off with our E7 arpeggio that we used in lick number 1. We're up at the 12th fret, and we play D, E, G sharp, B, D, E. And then we're going to grab the F sharp, and we're going to descend through a D major 7 arpeggio. We're going to play F sharp, D, C sharp, A, F sharp, and D. Then we're going to drop down to the 5th fret, and we're going to play a D major 7 arpeggio shape there, ending on an A note. We're going to go down to the G sharp at the 6th fret of our D string to kind of resolve to E7, slide back to our A note, and then end up on that G sharp. So the whole lick sounds like this. That is lick number 3. On to lick number 4. So lick number 4, we're using F sharp minor 7 and E7. And just like D major 7, if you combine E7 and F sharp minor 7, you get all 7 notes of E Mixolydian or A major, however you want to think about it. The F sharp minor 7 is kind of like the flip side of the D major 7 in that all 4 notes of F minor 7 sit right above the 4 notes of E7 on the fretboard. So E7, we've got our E, G sharp, B, and D. F sharp minor 7, we've got F sharp, A, C sharp, and E. So if you combine those two sounds, and I'm going to play these in thirds, you get this kind of tonality. Cool sound. So we start the lick at the F sharp minor 7. I'm down at the F sharp note at the 9th fret of the A string, and I'm going to play up to F sharp at the 11th fret of the G string. I'm going to double back, pick up the C sharp at the 11th fret of the D string, and then continue on through the arpeggio. So far we've got this. Then I'm going to slide up to G sharp, and then I'm going to descend through the E Mixolydian pentatonic. We put the whole thing together slowly. And that is our lick number 4, heading on to lick number 5. right, lick number 5 is a fun one. We're actually combining G sharp minor 7 flat 5 with E7. Now, this is sort of an interesting little combination. So our E7, we've got E, G sharp, B, and D. G minor 7 flat 5, we've got G sharp, B, D, and F sharp. So really all that we're adding by superimposing, one, we get rid of the root note, so we start on G sharp, which is the 3rd of E, but that F sharp is the 9. So really what we are doing is we're creating the sound of an E9. So pretty cool tonality. The lick itself, we start off by playing a G minor 7 flat 5 shape. I'm at the 11th fret of the A string. I'm going to slide up to the 16th fret of the E string and play another little shape. So I've got the notes G, F sharp, D, B, then I backtrack and I play F sharp, D, B, G sharp. And then we're going to do sort of a little hammer-on pull-off lick, and once again run through that E Mixolydian pentatonic. End up on my D note, which of course is the flat 7 of our E dominant 7 chord to resolve that. So that whole lick played slowly. That's a fun one. A lot of cool tones there. And here's sort of a bonus lick. Here's lick number 6. Check this out. So for our bonus lick, I thought we would have some fun and combine multiple arpeggios this time. And a little bit different shapes. We're going to be using a B minor 9. So we've got the notes B, D, F sharp, A, and C sharp. We've got D major 9. So we've got D, F sharp, A, C sharp, and E. Then we're going to play A major 7, and then we're going to go into our E Mixolydian pentatonic. Now, what is kind of cool about this lick is there's a little bit of a rhythmic pulse that's created by the accents. So the picking goes, when I play the B minor 9, I hit that 9th with an upstroke. That's the 5th note in our sequence. So there's a 6-note pattern, but we accent the 5th note. We're going to do the same thing in our D major 9. Then we're going to play through our A major 7. So we've got 6 notes with our B minor 9. We've got 6 notes with our D major 9. But we accent the 5th note each time. Now that A major 7, when we play it, it's going to be a 12-note sequence, but we're actually going to accent the 7th note that we play. So we get a kind of a cool rhythmic pulse. Now we're going to drop down to our E Mixolydian pentatonic, and I'm going to play an 8-note sequence. And then we're going to play a series of 6-note sequences, and we really accentuate that 6th sound. And we end up the lick by sliding into that D note to bring it home to our E7 sound. So here's the whole lick played slowly. fun, and you get this kind of rolling thing with those different accents on the different parts of the beat, and have fun with that one. I really like that one. So hey, I hope you liked the video. I hope you got some new ideas for superimposing arpeggios that are diatonic to a key to bring in some different colors and to give your licks a different flow. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, you guys keep practicing. I'm going to keep making videos that are going to help you make sense of soloing. Take care.